welcome to the channel, everybody. And in today's video, we are going to discuss the #1 strategy or tip in the game. I will be making a series out of this, and I'm not going to put a whole lot of information into one video. I'm just going to focus on one tip in one video and explain it in full. Right now, I have two people in the game with me. I created a looking for group post on Xbox about a little rival world that I created so I can help some people get their apparel schematics, because everybody's chasing that even though they're broken. And these two individuals right here that are in my game, I am going to use them for a quick example because something came up that will help prove the point while I'm doing this strategy tip. Now, the differences between the difficulties in the game are as is: adventure, skirmish, and guerrilla. Now let's just go to Screwy Canoe here and Galaxy. All right, there's their stats. Just keep that in mind. All right, and I'm gonna explain something that they're equally doing, and it's not wrong. It's just they're making their grind a heck of a lot harder. So now let's go back to the difficulty settings: adventure, skirmish, and guerrilla. Adventure mode, the robots are slow to shoot you, they're slow to recognize you, and your longevity in the game is going to be a lot longer. That means you're going to be using less bullets, you'll be staying alive longer, you'll be using less medkits, less resources, less of everything while you're playing in adventure. If you go into skirmish, they are quicker to spot you and quicker to shoot. When you go into guerrilla mode, they are going to instantly spot you, and it is like you are in a Call of Duty Warzone lobby, and every hacking aimbotter on the planet is now in your little lobby, and they are going to start beaming you with everything they got. And you are insta-cooked, and you're running, you're repairing, you're shooting, and you got this great gunfight on your hands, and yes, it is awesome. Okay? Guerrilla is awesome. I love that difficulty setting, but if you're stuck, you got to change your setting, and I'm going to explain why. Now, Screwy Canoe here asked me for wood, and I'm like, what are you using it for? And he's like, flares, and I'm like, okay, what are you using flares for? He's playing in guerrilla mode, and he is trying to run away from the robots that are killing him, and he's an early game player, right? So now his game has turned into a grind that he doesn't need early game. He doesn't have the resources to craft anything he needs for guerrilla mode. So you're just making your game and your grind so much longer because you are going through so many more resources at that level. So I told him to go grind some trees. That's what I did. 3,000 trees later. And anyways, I've got 1,920 wood left, so I gave him 975 of it. And I helped him out a little bit, and then we got to talking, and I explained a few things, and we moved on from that conversation. I went back to doing my own thing. And then Galaxy asked me for some experimental weapons. And I'm like, you don't have none yet? No. And I'm looking at their stats, and they've got 450 deaths and 2,500 kills. Wow. So what are you doing? They're like, oh, playing on guerrilla. Okay, so these people are out of ammo. Well, this person is out of ammo, just out of resources. They just don't have really too much going on, and they're just struggling, right? And they've put some serious work into the game to get 2,500 kills in guerrilla. And still not an experimental weapon yet because they can't handle what's going on. Yes, they may be a decent player, but they're just it's just such a grind, right? They're just lacking the information or really comprehending what's going on with that difficulty setting. So in my world, I put it on adventure. I don't want people wasting their resources getting into this huge brawl. We're here to get a schematic, not to get into a gunfight. We just want to kill what is there as fast as possible and get the reward and keep it moving to the next one. That's the overall objective. I'm not going to be playing on guerrilla. There's no point for it. Not when I'm setting up a farm. So now they've got a few experimental weapons because they were able to kill something and they got a heck of a lot of ammo. from it. And they're like, oh my God, this is crazy. I just got 700 rounds of ammo. And I'm like, yeah. And I went back off doing my own thing. Now let's get back to the point here, right? When you are playing on adventure, when you go chop a tree down to get some wood, that is still one piece of wood you're getting from a whole tree that you got to go collect. One wood, right? It's not 5 pieces or 10 pieces from a whole tree. Yeah, I mean, it's just one piece of wood. And it requires numerous wood to do anything in the game. So if you are playing on Guerrilla and you are crafting, I mean, that's a really long farm, right? But if you are playing on Adventure, you're not really focused on crafting all the materials, because you're able to save up a lot of materials because you're just not taking the damage. And if you want to save some resources, all you do is go to a safe house, exit your main menu, and then reload your game up and you'll have full health. Right? So you save some resources on that. It's a way to get around that. But if you're on Adventure, you're going to be using so much less time trying to survive the game that you'll be able to do much more with the game. You're going to kill faster, you're going to loot faster, you're going to use less of your inventory items because you're on Adventure. And when you need that difficulty challenge, you go into Guerrilla. Guerrilla is an awesome mode when you're prepared for it. But just starting the game off, I wouldn't suggest that. Because it's hard, it's grindy, and you're just not being rewarded. You're not being rewarded for that at all. You're not getting any extra XP. You may go into your skills and be like, oh, I want that 100% more XP. Well, do the math on 1,000 and times that by 100%. You know, do the math to it. You're really not being rewarded with a lot. So that's a waste of some skills points to even put on, right? So even playing at the higher difficulty setting, the XP is still the same. And the amount of bullets that you're going to be putting into the enemies at that higher difficulty compared to Adventure. So you're going to want to play Adventure. So that way you're able to save up them resources and just not spend time crafting repeatedly for your Guerrilla world or your Guerrilla setting. Save that for a later time and date to go do. And please don't be like this guy. Actually, we'll get to that in a little bit. Just focus on the Adventure setting, and then you can always go back and rechange your settings. So it's okay that you're on Adventure to try to lessen your grind. And now, please don't be like this guy when I'm offering the best advice that I possibly can give somebody. So I hope you all enjoyed and I helped you. GG. Catch you in the next one, guys.